ready for the second match here in Pearse Stadium, the clash of near neighbours Cuilinn and Killannin. What a history these two clubs have between them as well. Of course, both sides won first time out in the senior championship. So again, just like the first match between Oughterard and Salthill the pressure off a little bit, given that these sides have already registered 2 points in the league table. For Cuilinn, they look to back up a big win over Barna Furbacha. And in truth, a lot of people expect this Cuilinn team to be back in and around the conversation about winning the Frank Fox Trophy again this year. Great sadness in Cuilinn as well over the passing of their manager Don Killannin, so that's sure to have cast a huge cloud over this fixture. For Killannin, they'll be buoyed up by the fact they came from 9 points down to come back and beat St James's first time out in a thrilling second half turnaround. So whatever happens here today, I'm sure most thoughts will be with the family of the late Don Killannin, and whoever wins, well, they'll be guaranteed a place in the knockout stages, and whoever loses will still have round 3 in order to book their spot in the knockout stages of the championship. Either way, there's always great fascination when the near neighbours meet. Cuilinn and Killannin coming up. And you're welcome along to Pearse Stadium for the second of our Senior Football Championship double-header fixtures here in the Galway Senior Football Championship. The clash of near neighbours Killannin and Cuilinn. 11 years ago, they had one of the most famous battles in Galway club football history when they met in the final of the Galway Intermediate Football Championship. On that occasion, a sprightly young Galway football manager called Kevin Walsh came off the bench to inspire Killannin to victory and see them go senior that year. It took Cuilinn until 2015 to get back up, but by golly, in the last decade have Cuilinn not turned themselves into a real powerhouse in Galway football. 2 times champions, and of course looking to win the Galway Championship for a 3rd time in 2025. This game is, however, very much being played under the cloud of the sad passing of young Don Killannin, who was the Cuilinn manager for those 2 county championships, and we will be having a minute's silence before the start of this fixture in just a few short minutes. But let's start with a look at the Cuilinn team, now managed by Cathal Clancy, and it's a Cuilinn team with plenty of experience, including Michael Maughan at full-back, and of course the Galway captain Sean Kelly in a half-back line that also features Mark Hines and former Galway wing-back David Wynne. At midfield, it's Tom Clark and Paul Kelly, while into the forward line, Johnny Maloney has had plenty of great outings in the wing-back position. We'll see how he gets on in a much more forward berth today, alongside the experienced Niall Walsh and Charlie Cox, while inside, Desi Keneally is, as ever, the man to go to for the scores for Cumann Cuilinn, who will be fancied by many, not just to win here today, but to have a big say in the destiny of the Frank Fox Trophy. Turning to Killannin, and like Cuilinn, they were winners first time out, but in a very different manner, trailing by 9 points to St James's into the second half. They reeled off 10 points in a row to establish a sensational 18 points to 17 victory and register 2 points on the board. So they know if they win today, Killannin will be into the quarterfinals of the Senior Football Championship. They start with James Welsh as ever between the posts. Sam Keating mans an experienced looking defence from the full back berth, while Cormac Keneally will be alongside Ronan Caldwell and Brian Mitchell in that half line. Will be a big battle in the middle of the field today. Ryan Roach and Darragh Walsh will be to the fore for Killannin, while in the forward unit, Enda Kelly at centre forward and the Galway County star Johnny Heaney will be the 2 main stars for Killannin in attack. But either way, positions do tend to go out the window when it comes to modern day football. Killannin's manager Gay O'Brien is a wily old campaigner with plenty of experience in the Galway Championship, dating back to his time in charge of Salthill Knocknacarra. For now, he's with neighbours Killannin, and their battle with Cuilinn will certainly have a sad note to kickstart it all, as we acknowledge the sad passing of Don Killannin, the Galway the Cuilinn senior football manager, and 2 other sad passings that are going to be noted now on the public address here in Pearse Stadium.
We offer our condolences. Also, the club would like to mention Annette Mully, wife of club president Lan. Killannin also would like to include Reach Barty, the grandmother of Jack O'Toole, who plays for Killannin today.
And a warm round of applause and acknowledgement here in Pearse Stadium. The crowd stay standing for Our Run of Ian. It's a tough start here in Pearse Stadium for supporters and players alike. A lot of emotion in the air, Pádraig Cunningham, as you can imagine. You can only imagine the sadness that's been in Maigh and indeed in Roscommon, and we can only pass on our sympathies to the family of Don Killannin. But to lose their young manager and such an inspiration in their parish, it's a bitter pill to swallow.
Yeah, it is. Look at it. He's done absolutely fantastic things, as we know, for that Maigh parish, that club, everything they've done for them, and that team replicate pretty much everything that Don Killannin has done. And look at their hard-working team, and they always will be a hard-working team, but they will go down fighting, and they will try to, this year's championship, replicate it back for him.
Peter Cook isn't starting for Maigh today. I suppose a bit like Saltil Knocknacarra, anybody carrying a knock, they probably have the luxury of being able to rest him up and make sure he gets right.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, look, we know the stature and the build of Peter Cook. Like, he's a brilliant, fantastic footballer, but look, it's an opportunity for Killannin. They have to go after it when someone like that is stepping out of the fray, and going in as underdog in the game like this for Killannin, it's something they'll relish. They're hungry men out there. And
especially seeing as it's the neighbours, so I'm not so sure how much favouritism means anything. As ever, Killannin in their royal blue and white trim, Maigh in the green jerseys with the white sash, and Richard McNicholas, the match referee, throws the ball in and we're underway. Ball touchdown, and it is the men from Killannin who win the first possession. And there's Jack O'Toole, as we heard his granny remember there in the minute silence as well, who wins possession, flicks it off in turn towards Cathal Walsh, back out the field as well. Killannin meaning business early on. They've got that breeze behind them, remember, shooting into the Orrisbourne at throw end. It's a little bit overcast here in Pearse Stadium since the first game, as we watch now Cian Marks looking for support, plays a little pop pass to Brian Mitchell. Is there an end product here for Killannin as they look to try and work it into a scoring zone? Lovely little dummy from Cathal Walsh before he gives it off towards Ryan Roach. Back off the right. Roach's effort is blocked down, but he still manages to flick it back, and the ball is swung with the right boot over the bar by Cathal Walsh. First score of the game, barely a minute gone, and it's Killannin off the mark with Cathal Walsh.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's great. It's great patience in attack again from Killannin, and looks like Ryan Roach had got turned over, probably blocked down shot, but he recovered the ball and knocked it back to Cathal Walsh, and a great score from Cathal Walsh to get himself nice and settled into the game.
Now let's watch the first kick out for Pierce Greeley. Coolbara Cuilinn as he drives it down the middle, but Killannin have plenty of bodies there to pick up the pieces. Jack O'Toole knocks it down. Here's a little chip pass over the top. Nice little thinking there from Ronan Caldwell, but forced Luke Carr a little bit wide. He's got to come back out the field. Are Killannin working their way into 2-point shooting range? I know Maigh are very much guarding that 2-point zone like their lives depended on it, knowing that it's very doable in this first half with that breeze. Killannin playing a lot of very dainty little short hand passes, but no real end product. Let's see if the number 6 Johnny Heaney can do anything about it. Johnny playing in a much more advanced position. Now he takes it back. Is he going to get it back onto the right? No, he goes for the dummy solo reckoned that things were just bottled up from. And Killannin still holding the ball, will start again. All the time they look to their spiritual leader, Johnny Heaney. But this time it's a nice ball prodded in from inside by Dara Walsh, but that was a bit too much. And it's easy and picked up back there in defence. Maigh Cuilinn can play their way out from the back. Charlie Cox offered himself up really as an extra defender in this first half.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he got back. He got back and he read the play. He read the play very well, so he did. And seeing that pass, Dara Walsh tried to pass inside and he tried to just execute it. Charlie Cox seen it and just won the ball back and set Maigh Cuilinn on the attack now.
Mark Bradley out from the back, and well, space is opened up in front of Bradley. He's going right through. Little right-footed tip into who else but Desi Keneally. He's having a run here. Desi in on goal, should be a score. Taps it over the bar. Great work from Desi Keneally. Bradley, that really was given far too much room. Nobody came near the Maigh Cuilinn fullback. He made 50-60 metres, a simple kick pass to Keneally, and that was an easy score.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was one of those that Mark Bradley drove out, and he's just, as you said, the pitch seemed to open up more and more from little kick pass inside Desi. Desi takes on his man in a 1v1 situation, and he kicks a great score.
Killannin, I'm sure, will be looking to try and shore up the centre of their defence, but they are committed to players going forward while they have this breeze at their backs. 1 point apiece, opening moments of this game. And Maigh Cuilinn again look like they're entitled to a free there in the middle of the field for a pullback. It is, and it's taken quickly, and who else but Desi Keneally now one-on-one with Donal Henderson. Keneally jigging left and right. He's going to go for goal and gets it. There's only one Desi Keneally in this game so far, and again left one-on-one. Henderson had no chance.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, look at it. It's brilliant again. Great turnover in the middle of the pitch there from, I think it was Tom Clark, got his body in, forced the turnover, and Paul Kelly, and then win the free and deliver a ball inside to Desi Keneally 1v1, and the rest then is a goal then from Desi.
Maigh Cuilinn put up a goal and 21 points in their opening round victory over Barna na Firbica. They're already on schedule to try and match or maybe even surpass that, which would certainly lay down a marker. We talked in the last game about Salcha Lontnacara missing so many goal opportunities before eventually they got their one that put the game to bed against Oughterard. Well, Maigh Cuilinn have been far more clinical here. One chance taken by Desi Keneally and already daylight between the sides. Killannin have to respond. Remember, they're the ones playing with the breeze advantage. 1-1 to a point. Nice little clever clip ball along to Cian Marks. Cian might have to go back out the field again. In close proximity is Ronan Caldwell. It's so too bursting through is Ryan Roach. Roach is in on goal here. Straight at the keeper, however. In the end, an easy save for Pierce Greeley. Went for power. Maybe could have had a bit more composure there.
Yeah, definitely. He done very well. He broke through the tackle there. It was brilliant from Ryan Roach, but probably the adrenaline got the better of him, and he absolutely drove the ball straight at the heart of Pierce Greeley. Made a great save from Pierce Greeley, but a bit more composure there. Roll it down the side of him, probably level game.
Remains 1-1 to a point, but or Killannin, I should say, have turned it over here. They've won it back. Opportunity now for Dara Welch. Should get a score. Swings the left peg, and Killannin are back on the scoreboard with Dara Welch. A bit of a giveaway point there for Maigh Cuilinn. Maybe got a little bit too casual coming out of defence, but Dara Welch punishes. Could have been a goal, but in the next attack they have managed a point. 2 points on the board for Killannin, 1-1 for Maigh Cuilinn. Dara Welch, we know how promising a young player he is, and he's down at the moment just...
Yeah, he's a fantastic footballer. He kicked, I think, 8-9 points in the last game for Killannin, some monster 2-pointers against St. James's. He's a big future ahead of him.
No doubt about it. Well, why wouldn't he, coming from good stock? But Dara, at the moment, is just being treated to an injury. He was a little bit gingered the way he kind of swung the left boot at the last run. I think the referee is just indicating, a bit like in the soccer, this completely pointless need to have to run to the sideline first before you come back on, which is utterly nonsensical.
It is a strange one. I didn't even know it was a rule.
Well, he's going to be back on in a second, but let's watch the kick out. Ball broken down. Who's going to be there? Well, it's picked up on the breaking ball by Sean Kelly, but he's bottled up. Killannin, ball held up in the tackle. No soft freeze going a big in here. Dara Walsh now just standing on the sideline, waiting to be readmitted to the play. As we watch Ronan Caldwell keeping the ball over on the far sideline. Meanwhile, all this time, Killannin are playing with 14 men. They still hold possession on this near side. The ball is with their wing back, Cormac Kennevy. Plays it back out the field towards Johnny Heaney. Juggles with it a little bit, but then holds on to it. Plays a little chip pass inside. Lovely little catch on the double by Enda Kelly. Plays it across. Is there a 2-point shot being wound up here by Cathal Walsh? No, he goes for a lovely little clever ball inside. That's an excellent kick pass. Is that a foul? Referee says no, it's a mark. So he's given the free in. And now, from the next break in play, Dara Welch comes back in, which I think is all part of this rule to try and stop players feigning injury and going down, so that you've got to come off until the end of the next play. Could have been quite a penalty there for Killannin had they conceded while a man down for a genuine injury. But here is a tap over free from the mark, which is executed by Enda Kelly, and that is a good score for Killannin, all from an excellent kick pass through
from Cathal Walsh,
from Cathal Walsh, which makes it now 1-1 to 3 points. So the goal is almost ruled out.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and it's a great reaction again from Killannin. They had a lot of patience with the ball and a lot of time, a lot of backing over across it. Kind of Kevin Wellspec coaching really, and composure on the ball, and then Cathal Walsh with a brilliant ball inside to Ryan Roche, and then we've seen that advanced mark again come into play.
A lot of time being taken over this kick out from Pierce Greeley, but it works out for Maigh Cuilinn. Ball breaks down to Sean Kelly. He's pulled back by 1-2 players and still keeps going. Sean Kelly then plays it left-footed through, but he's going to be blown back for the free. And I think the referee is going to think about taking a number here. Not sure if it was that cynical it required a yellow card, but it certainly was in the cynical department to note a number of a player, as Richie McNicholas might even go to the pocket here early on.
Like he's going to the pocket.
He said he is. Yellow card for that pullback on Sean Kelly. So no nonsense approach here.
Yeah, it's fairly early in the game to be picking up a yellow card as well.
Yeah, especially when you're a player like Ronan Caldwell, who's very much in the thick of the play at all times. But Caldwell is on the yellow. Killannin get away with it though. Johnny Heaney back in a much more recognisable defensive position, despite being announced at full forward wearing number 6 for Killannin. I think we all knew he was going to be playing as a pretty much play wherever you like, Johnny. As Maigh Cuilinn turned the ball over in the middle of the field. Good defensive work as well. Paul Kelly working the way through the hands. Here's an opportunity now. This is where Maigh Cuilinn are lethal, and it goes again to Desi off the left. He is just on fire.
Yeah, he is.
3 shots at goal, 1-2 from Desi Keneally, and Maigh Cuilinn edged themselves 2 points in front.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, look, it's that quick transition again though. It's a turnover. Dara Welch tries to play a ball down the line, and Paul Kelly blocks it, lands in the hands of Dave Wynne. Dave Wynne hand passes to Johnny Maloney. Johnny Maloney just drives straight towards Desi Keneally. All Desi has to do is nearly stand there, come on a 2-step loop, get a bit of space, and kick straight over the bar. It's a great score.
Dara Welch does well to get a good purchase on that, and the ball breaking down to Brian Mitchell means it's a free to Killannin. Solo and go, albeit from looked like way ahead of where the foul was, but it works out for Killannin and for Enda Kelly. He's gathered possession, thinking about turning onto the right for a 2-point effort. This is ambitious. It's going to drop out to the left and wide, however. Probably worth the go. He hadn't much support up there, but didn't get the purchase on it. 1-2 for Maigh Cuilinn. 3 points for Killannin it remains after 11 minutes. And an entertaining enough opening, Pádraig.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's definitely, and you could see Killannin came out with intent, trying to stop it, but we do see the skill and the class of Desi Keneally for Maigh Cuilinn once he gets inside that small D, any sort of shooting area. He is a sharp shooter.
He's in lethal form, no doubt about it, and we'll hope to continue that good form. Ball breaks in the middle of the field. Good strong work, determined play by Ryan Roche. Come on, Roche is the crowd from the Killannin supporters here. Interesting to see the Uachtarard team and mentors sitting down in front of us as well. After their defeat to Saltine Loughnaccara, they're here keeping a close eye on both of their neighbours, as Maigh Cuilinn and Killannin do battle. Ball is with Killannin's Jack O'Toole, plays it across to Johnny Heaney. We'll be looking to try and take a return pass here from Dara Walsh. Does well. Johnny now working into an area where he could have a pop at the post. This is going to drop short. Dangerous ball in around the house. It's a point. Almost too close to the goals for Enda Kelly, but he gets the fist on it. And that is probably the most dangerous ball in football, that one dropping in front of the keeper.
Absolutely, Ollie, yeah, it is, and it's brilliant from Johnny Heaney. He lines himself up nearly outside the right and stops, takes a dummy solo, steps across. Probably was going for the 2-pointer, but Enda Kelly knew what he was, knew well the ball was going to drop short, and that ball dropped short and right around the house, and probably got too much connection on it to punch it over the bar.
Experienced play from Kelly. He knew that one had a trajectory that wasn't going to carry the whole way. And now Maigh Cuilinn, well, it looked like they had a break, but in the end, it's that man Roach that picks up, and yet another break.
He's been brilliant around the middle of the park here. Himself and Darragh Walsh seem to be going up and not even trying to catch the ball. It's breaking the ball out, breaking it forward as well for their forwards to turn and react off it.
They really are putting their bodies on the line. I don't know, is it sustainable, this level of effort though, because they're absolutely throwing themselves at it. Here's an opportunity now for Killannin coming through, an opportunity for a punch point, back off the post, a danger, and another well blocked effort as the rebound from the punch point from Cian Marks fell to Brian Mitchell, but his effort was smothered by Pierce Greeley, who's had to stay alert.
Yeah, he was, yeah, and it was one of them brilliant step by Cian Marks. He took on his man, went down around him, hand passed the ball, and it ends up hitting the upright, coming back to Brian Mitchell, and he just then again drove it straight at the stomach of Pierce Greeley, but another great save from Pierce Greeley.
Stayed upright, stayed big, and it's two good saves from the Maigh Cuilinn goalkeeper. It remains 1-2 for Maigh Cuilinn, 4 points for Killannin. The difference between the sides, the goal from Desi Keneally. Maigh Cuilinn bursting their way through on the far side. David Wynne, lovely ball through as well, working out here as well. Opportunity, Sean O'Connor into the thick of it. The shot from the end is up and over the bar, and Maigh Cuilinn have got off the mark. The point added by Niall Walsh, his first of the game. Good incisive play by Sean O'Connor in the build-up. Walsh there at the end of the move, right-footed up and over the bar. 1-3 to 4 points. Maigh Cuilinn just keeping Killannin at arm's length.
Yeah, they are, yeah, and it's brilliant again from Niall Walsh. He coming on the loop there and stepping into the scoring zone. It's just a brilliant score.
Kick out, drops around the middle of the field. This time it's Maigh Cuilinn who are getting the breaking ball after a period of domination from Killannin. Maloney plays a lovely hand pass through. Now here's a big goal chance for Maigh Cuilinn. Are they going to go for it? No, it's a ball kicked up to the right and wide from Paul Kelly. A poor miss.
Yeah.
I mean, he was close enough there to think about going for goal.
The way he was even lining up, I was sure he was going to just drive the ball low into the ground, but he drove it up high and hit off the upright. It's very unusual from someone with the skill of Paul Kelly.
Yeah, bad miss. He was no more than about 6-7 yards out and blasted high up off the upright and wide. Bit of a let off for Killannin, and it will be back with goalkeeper James Walsh to restart. Let's see, does he go straight down the middle? No, decides to come towards the stand side of Pearse Stadium. Underneath it, who else but Darragh Walsh. The breakdown works out well for his midfield teammate Ryan Roach, and now there's a bit of space coming through here. Opportunity for Cathal Walsh down along the touchline, decides to go backwards. He's got Roachy coming forward. Ryan Roach puts a little hitch kick on it before he goes off the right. It's a fine effort. Ryan Roach up and over the bar. He is a fabulous player.
He is, yeah, and he's been absolutely brilliant here the first 16 minutes of the game. Brilliant there again, and a kick out there from James Wells. Lands down in the middle of the breaking ball. He got in, won it, offloaded it to Cian Marks. Cian Marks drove down the left hand side, gave it off to Cathal Walsh. Hand pass from Cathal back to Ryan Roach, and he just drove straight at the centre of that D and kicked a phenomenal score.
He is a very determined young man, and I don't know what Maigh Cuilinn ever did on him, but he looks to be very determined to do well here today and lay down a marker. By golly, he's been the dominant force so far. Let's see how this kick out works out. This time it's Walsh underneath, gets a touchdown, just not quite as aggressive going for it Brian Mitchell as he ought to be, as Sean Kelly was the one who steamed through to pick up the pieces. Mitchell is backtracking, but it's up to Desi Keneally, and you know what that's going to mean. Desi Keneally can only do one thing, and that's put it over the bar. 4 shots, 1-3 from Desi, who can equally do no wrong at the other end.
Yeah, it's just brilliant again. Like it's again, Sean Kelly wins the break here, drives at the pitch and just hand passes the ball inside to Desi, and all Sean Kelly does is continue his run with no intention of getting the ball back, knows what Desi can do. Desi receives the ball, gets himself 3-4 yards of space and just kicks the score again. It's brilliant football.
It's fabulous football. It's high standard stuff in this Killannin Maigh Cuilinn game in Pearse Stadium. These are two well drilled outfits, and from Maigh Cuilinn you just get the feeling, because they're playing into the breeze, they're a little bit contained within themselves in this opening half. More happy, I think, to keep Killannin at bay than get a huge number of scores on the board. That may well come in the second half when they're backed by the breeze. Ronan Caldwell gives it back to Darragh Walsh, goes for a booming effort. It's going to be close. It's over.
Wow. Brilliant.
Worth waiting for.
Yeah.
Darragh Walsh with his second score, but that's a 2-pointer, and that is one that ties us up.
It's a brilliant score again. And look at it, he had probably had 5-10 yards more to spare. It's a brilliant kick from Darragh Walsh, and just shows that prospect that he has.
18 minutes coming up on the clock. We're level. 7 points to 1-4. That's how quickly the 2-pointers can change the game. Darragh Walsh this time goes up with the jab, trying to get his man Ryan Roche in on it. Ball is close to the ground, touched on the ground, says the referee. Free to Maigh Cuilinn, and it's taken quickly. Solo and go by Johnny Maloney, who certainly got a plenty of advantage on it, and it could end up in a goal at the other end. It's in, and one-on-one, a ball trickled off the upright, and a block down on the second attempt. Still the ball hasn't been cleared. Back out the field it goes. Should be a score. The ball has dropped out to the right hand side and wide, and Killannin have escaped.
Yeah, they have, and look at it. One side of it you can look, it's great scramble defence from Killannin, but Maigh Cuilinn will be disappointed with that goal chance. Niall Wells breaking down the heart of the goal and just offloaded the ball into a perfect position. Probably Dilly didn't take the strike on early enough. Great work rate from Killannin, got back and forced a shot and wide. So they will. You heard the Killannin roar here. That's give them a lot more energy.
Albeit, when you do blow it back to the origins of that move, it certainly did look like Johnny Maloney had taken a lot of steps forward from where the original free was for the solo and go, but there's huge advantage given to the attacking teams in the modern game in that context.
Yeah, there is. There's a massive advantage. Like they say it's 4 yards, 4 rules, 4 steps. Like it's kind of nearly whatever you want, and they give it the benefit of the doubt always to the forward in the situation.
Yeah, and maybe that's a good thing. Yeah, it certainly has increased the excitement, but it's also increased the likelihood of getting goals in matches. Because it's very little Killannin can do in a situation like that where they're caught on the hop. They have to give the ball back. Maigh Cuilinn make the move, and really they had a 2-man overlap there, and it should have been a goal, but that is one that's gone a begging, and it remains level. 7 points Killannin, 1-4 for Maigh Cuilinn, but Maigh Cuilinn are battling hard to turn it over. They've won it back with David Wynne, always prepared to put the body on the line. And now here we are, 4-on-4. Should be another chance of a score. Desi Keneally takes a shot, and this one is to the left-hand side and wide, so he is human after all. But there's 1-1 missed by Maigh Cuilinn in the space of a minute that could have put a very different complexion on that scoreboard.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And look at it, it's very unlike Desi there, probably nearly getting too used to shooting there, so he was, and it's an opportunity for Maigh Cuilinn missed, and as you said, 1-1 left behind. Killannin will be quite happy so far, 20 minutes gone.
That's a kick out to nobody in particular. It's really gone astray from James Walsh, who holds his head in his hands, and now the ball is in the inside line. Lovely little spin opportunity here, and this time it is in the back of the net. The kick out has been punished in the extreme. Maigh Cuilinn have got the goal, and it's into the back of the net from Fiachra McDonagh. He was patiently waiting, but finally the ball has worked its way through, and the full forward, it was clearly a mix-up because James Walsh was going for the short kick out but kicked it too high over the head. The ball back in, and McDonagh profited into the back of the net with the goal, and that's a goal that really has undone all of Killannin's good work over the last 10 minutes to stay in touch. And a second goal from Maigh Cuilinn, in truth from 3 goal chances. It's a pretty decent return rate from them.
Yeah, it is,
but that second goal has given them great breathing space now. 2-4 to 7 they lead. Can Killannin answer back? Here's a shot coming in from distance. It's over. Another point from that man Ryan Roche. Just about keeping his side in touch. 2-4 to 8 points.
It is, yeah. We go back to that goal again though. It's brilliant composure from Fiachra. Brilliant finish. Like it's, as you said, Ollie, we were just saying that Killannin would have been happy enough, and then next kick out, nearly a rush of blood from James Wells trying something and just didn't execute, and Maigh Cuilinn go and punish you at the worst way possible.
Into the last 8+ minutes of this first half now. There'll be an important time for Killannin to just stay on the coattails of Maigh Cuilinn. They'd be hoping to have a lead going in at half time given the breeze advantage, and it is a strengthening breeze here in Pearse Stadium, but Maigh Cuilinn, playing into the elements, are the ones who are in charge. 2-4 to 8 points, the goals, the real difference in this match. Fiacre McDonagh with the second one. The first coming early on from Desi Keneally in the 4th minute. And those two scores are the defining ones of this first half. Still Killannin plough on, looking to try and create something. Cian Marks tries to get a little touch out. That one doesn't go to hand, and it's too easy. But Paul Kelly coming out to win the ball for Moycullen, but he's turned over. Killannin win it back. Here's one dropped out to the left hand side, and in the end I think Luke Carr won't be using his left foot for a strike at the posts anytime soon.
No, and he looked like he had a power of time in front of him and space to drive into, but decided to take the shot and nearly slipped as he was shooting.
Just the standing foot gave way, and it all looked a little cumbersome as the ball just screwed back in the air into the hands of a Moycullen man. And now they can launch the very next attack. Here is Paul Kelly driving forward. He's got options out on the right hand touchline, goes with the hand pass, trying to work a yard of space here for either Tom Clark to run into, or indeed invite the space out wide, where they've got a combination of Sean O'Connor and David Wynn in close proximity. This time they're going to switch it across for Johnny Maloney. Just jogging over and back now. They'll decide to put the boot down in a moment. David Wynn meets the shoulder and pops it off to Paul Kelly. It's walking pace from Moycullen at the moment. They're just killing the clock, running it down. 6 minutes to half time. Possession with Sean Kelly. He's going to direct traffic now and just bide his time before he has a run. 2-on-2 inside. Fiacre McDonagh, Desi Keneally. Let's see if Moycullen can get that killer pass. Coming into the run here is Mark Bradley. Bradley now, let's see if there's a bit of an injection of pace here coming from deep. Opportunity for Sean O'Connor coming forward, and it's all opened up. O'Connor goes for the shot, but out to the right hand side and wide. There was a bit of an end product, but in the end the wing back didn't quite have his shooting boots on. And Killannin were strangely pedestrian there, standing back and off Moycullen, who really did as they chose, and you could see they were going to pick their moment to have a run at this Killannin defence. So are you getting the sense, like I am, that Moycullen are just trotting along here in second gear, a bit like Salthill were? Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly it. I just don't feel like they're under enough severe pressure at the moment, to be honest. They've kind of taken everything Killannin through there for the first 20 minutes, and the goals have kind of nearly taken the life out of Killannin.
Niall Walsh trying to thread a ball through there to Desi Keneally, but it was well intercepted back there by Sam Keating, who's fouled, and that'll be a free. And I think there's a change coming here, and Killannin, I think, have decided enough is enough. It's time to bring in Patrick Sweeney,
number 5 Cormac Keneally.
and he comes in for Cormac Keneally. So Patrick Sweeney, really a master performer over the years. Himself and his brother Cahill have just been to the forefront of everything good about Killannin football for the last decade or more. And well, let's see what he can do from the full forward berth. Being picked up straight away by Mark Bradley. Moycullen pushing the back, says the referee. Give away a free. It's free to Killannin. An important 5 minutes before half time now. Let's see if they go for a long one in over the top. It's going to drop in around the house. Keeper did very well. And that's Pierce Greeley. Just got a touch on it, because the man in at the edge of the square was Darragh Welch, and you know, if he got the fingertips on that, it could have been a goal.
Yeah, definitely, and it was a brilliant ball inside, like it was a free. And Carl Walsh drilled it in long in on top of his brother Darragh, and
up the other end though, Niall Walsh has been put through by Sean Kelly, and he should tap this over the bar, and does, and that is the difference. A 4-point swing. Niall Walsh with the point at one end as the ball dropped short, saved by the keeper Pierce Greeley from what could have been a goal opportunity if Darragh Welch had got the touch, but the ball was kept in play. Up go Moycullen over the bar. 2-5 to 8 points. They're back 3 in front.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, look at they're just really got just gliding through the gears here, really, and big chance down the other end for Killannin. Moycullen break up the other end. Niall Walsh strokes it over the bar. Just haven't really got going, Moycullen, but they're just getting along nicely.
For Killannin, I'm sure they looked at this fixture coming as it did in the second round. Would have probably suited them. They knew the pressure was on them in that first game to try and get a result against St. James's, And when you think that Killannin were 17 points to 8 down 5 minutes into the second half of that game, you were kind of thinking Killannin could be in trouble here and could be looking at a relegation battle in senior. How are we to know in the last 20 minutes they were going to outscore their opponents 10-0 and register an unlikely victory? Johnny Heaney goes for an ambitious shot from downtown that goes to the right hand side and wide. But there's probably a little bit less pressure on Killannin in today, given the fact that they did come back to register that win over St. James's. They have maybe a free play today, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they know themselves as well that today was a free play in terms of an opportunity. A winner takes all. I suppose a winner goes into a quarter final, and they'll be quite content knowing they have Bet James's and with Barna left to play in the group, and with Barna not in great shakes at the moment.
So Barna and Furbuca will be under pressure to get something out of that last game against Killannin if they feel that Killannin are still on 2 points after today. It's looking like it at the moment. We're close to half time, 2 minutes to go. We'll find out how much stoppage time in just a moment. But it's Cuilinn who are in front, 2-5 to 8 points and playing very much within themselves. Killannin on the attack at the moment, though, looking to finish the half with a flurry. It's amazing what a couple of scores could do to get them back into this game. Patrick Sweeney trying to ensure that there's something good going to happen at the end. Johnny Heaney is on the loop on the overlap, and his shot goes out to the left hand side and wide. Killannin have had chances. You know, they're into half a dozen wides now, and Johnny Heaney with 2 in a row, a 2-pointer, and that one there, which probably was a far easier one, he'll be disappointed with. And they're chances that Killannin can't really afford to miss.
Yeah, exactly, and there are just opportunities they're leaving behind them, and that's 2 in a row from Johnny. He'd be very disappointed in, like, you know.
1 minute of additional time at the end of this half.
1 minute to be added on at the end of the half, and that will start in 60 seconds time. Let's see if there's a finish to this half that might just bring some positivity to Killannin. Johnny Heaney has picked up the breaking ball from that kick out, goes for an up and under. Patrick Sweeney trying to do a Seamus Darby on it, but unfortunately I think the referee had that one well spotted for the nudge in the back. Free out to Maigh Cuilinn, solo and goal by David Wynne, and he drives straight at the heart of Killannin, goes on the overlap. Paul Kelly is in support, and I think if Maigh Cuilinn feel they could finish the half with a score, it might just put this game to bed, given that they'll have the strong wind in the second half. Desi Keneally on the overlap, bursting his way through. That's a heavy hit. Ronan Caldwell is going to have to be careful. Remember, he's on a yellow. Everybody in Maigh Cuilinn is reminding the referee that he's on a yellow. If that's a heavy hit, Ronan Caldwell is in big trouble. But I think the referee is inclined to just leave it at a free in. And I think Ronan Caldwell is inclined not to hover around that area with any great intent, although the referee is calling him now, and I think he's in curtains. This is a red card, and Killannin are down to 14 men, and unfortunately for Ronan Caldwell, it's a sending off. He's pleading his case. The difficulty is those few seconds where a referee is in any doubt. He's wired up now, so he's got umpires and he's got linesmen who may have a clearer view of what happened, and so he gets all that information, and so the pictures tell 1,000 tales, and I don't think there will be a whole pile of complaints about that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a really dirty looking hit, like, to be fair, from here, and probably one of those that you're just.
Well, there's no doubt his intent was shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah,
it didn't happen though.
It's just going into it. You're going into a tackle on a yellow card like that, and you're kind of leaving yourself open nearly to be sent off.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but Ronan Caldwell, who's a big-hearted player, he certainly gives it his all. He apologises to his team manager, and I think all in all there's just a sense that maybe the life has gone out of this game on the back of that sending off. 3 points up, a man up, and now they'll have the strong wind in the second half. It is a mountain to climb for Killannin. They could still end the half though with the score. They have the ball back. We're about 30 seconds away from the finish. Johnny Heaney goes for a kick pass. Is that a free? Yes. Referee says a little pull back on Niall Walsh. This will lead to a free in. Niall may decide to slow this down and just get this over the bar and maybe take the few seconds that are left in this first half to make sure this goes over the bar. This will end the first half, but that red card for the Killannin number 25, Ronan Caldwell, is followed by the point by Niall Walsh. The last score, or the point I should say, by Enda Kelly, the last of the first half. Enda Kelly's point, I think, met by barely a smattering of applause, as there's a sense of inevitability about the end of that half. The red card, Killannin, to their credit, did manage to get a point, but trailing by 2, having to face that strong wind, a man down, it's a big ask, isn't it, Porrick?
Yeah, it is. It's a big ask. Now, to be fair, in Killannin, they'll never say die attitude and always have had it, but it's a really big ask going in, that big wind, man down, and someone like Maigh Cuilinn who have the experience of situations like this.
Enda Kelly with 3 points for Killannin. They also had Ryan Roach with 3, including a 2-pointer, very much to the fore. Dara Walsh doing his best at midfield as well. 9 points from Killannin is not exactly no mean tally in a senior football championship game, but the 2 goals by Maigh Cuilinn in the 4th minute by Dessie Keneally and in the 19th minute by the full forward Fiachra McDonough, they are like gold dust in this fixture, and they are the goals that have created clear daylight between the neighbours. The sending off of Ronan Caldwell just before half time, a real nail in the coffin for Killannin. They are going to have to pull something special out of the bag in the second half, but it's Maigh Cuilinn looking for county title number 3 this year on the back of their 2 recent post-COVID successes. But right now, they are the ones in the driving seats. It's half-time in Pearse Stadium. Maigh Cuilinn lead Killannin by 2-5 to 9 points. Come back to us for the second half very shortly. Gives it off towards Ryan Roach, back off the right. Roach's effort is blocked down, but he still manages to flick it back, and the ball is swung with the right boot to who else but Dessie Keneally. He's having a run here. Dessie in on goal, should be a score, taps it over the bar. Moments of this game, and Maigh Cuilinn again look like they're entitled to a free there in the middle of the field for a pullback. It is, and it's taken quickly, and who else but Dessie Keneally, now one-on-one with Donal Henderson. Keneally jinking left and right, he's going to go for goal and gets it. There's only close proximity is Ronan Caldwell, it's so too bursting through is Ryan Roach. Roach is in on goal here, straight at the keeper, however, in the end an easy Killannin, I should say, have turned it over here. They've won it back. Opportunity now for Dara Welsh, should get a score, swings the left peg while a man down for a genuine injury, but here is a tap over free from the mark. Here's an opportunity now, this is where Maigh Cuilinn are lethal, and it goes again to Dessie off the left. Walsh does well. Johnny now working into an area where he could have a pop at the post. This is going to drop short, dangerous ball in around the house. It's a point, throwing themselves at it. Here's an opportunity now for Killannin coming through, an opportunity for a punch point back off the post, a danger, and another well. David Wynn, lovely ball through as well, working out here as well. Opportunity. Got Roachy coming forward. Ryan Roach puts a little hitch kick on it before he goes off the right. It's a fine effort, tracking, but it's up to Dessie Keneally, and you know what that's going to mean. Dessie Keneally can half when they're backed by the breeze. Ronan Caldwell gives it back to Dara Welsh, goes for a booming effort. It's going to be close. It's over. Certainly got plenty of advantage on it, and it could end up in a goal at the other end. It's in, and one-on-one, a ball trickled off the upright, and a block down in the second.
Behind, Killannin will be quite happy so far. 20 minutes gone.
That's a kick out to nobody in particular. It's really gone astray from James Walsh, who holds his head in his hands, and now the ball is in the inside line. Lovely little spin opportunity here, and this time it is in the back of the net. The kick out 4-7 they lead. Can Killannin answer back? Here's a shot coming in from
on top of his brother Dara, and
up the other end though. Niall Walsh has been put through by Sean Kelly. Not to hover around that area with any great intent, although the referee is calling him now, and I think he's in curtains. This is a red card, and Killannin are down to 14 men, and unfortunately for Ronan, for the Killannin number 25. And you're welcome back to Pearse Stadium for the second half of Maigh and Killannin. Certainly seems to be a rather protracted half-time interval. Killannin yet to re-emerge for the second half. Maigh are back out on the field, and I'm sure will be anxious to avoid injuries and just play their way safely into the quarter-finals, which I guess what a lot of the big teams are only hoping to do in this second round.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, look at them. That's exactly it. They've kind of Killannin are coming out here in the second half with an uphill battle. Big wind, down to 14 men, down by 2 at the moment. So, yeah, Maigh will just look to keep it tempo at a reasonable pace, get through the ground, no one pick up any injuries.
Saltil Knocknacarra kept up their end of the bargain earlier on with their victory over Oughterard. I suppose the only fly in the ointment from the obvious big four teams that would be presumed to be back in the semi-finals again was Currafinn's draw with Milltown last night, which Milltown 3 points up, 5 minutes to go. It would have been some upset and would have really changed the complexion of this championship, given that it would most probably have put Currafinn into contact with the likes of Saltil or Maigh in a quarter final. That seems to have been avoided with Currafinn's draw, but it just shows you on any given day there are a couple of teams out there that could hurt some of the favourites.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And look, it give nothing but belief to Milltown. They've some cracking players, like you see the veterans in Mark Hare and Micheál Martin, but then they have the upcoming Liam Costello and Niall Costello, the young lads there that have such drive and determination for that team. So yeah, look, it is a big shock of a result, and one Milltown probably be disappointed in coming 5 minutes down the stretch.
Of course, the other team in the Big Four I was half referencing, if you want to call it that, is Tuam Stars, who were in the semi-finals last year. They're up at the moment in action against Dunmore McHale's as we watch Maigh Cuilinn look to start the second half with Desi Keneally coming forward. A shot up and over the bar. There was a few shouts about steps as he got a little nudge in the back as he moved forward there. Referee played the advantage, but Desi adds another score, and that added to the goal and the 2 points that he's already got in this match. That makes it now 1 goal and 4 for Desi Keneally in this fixture, coming in the opening minute of the game. So I suppose normal service is resumed, and what's really tough for Killannin is the fact that now they're a man down. Killannin will have to play the second 30 minutes knowing well that Maigh Cuilinn have the extra insurance of an extra player out around that middle third.
Yeah, they do, yeah, and it's massive as well in terms of like the 3-up rule as well. You still have to keep the 3 up, so it's definitely going to be difficult for Killannin.
2-6 to 9 points is the score, as Maigh Cuilinn defending well at the back. Possession back there with Owen Maguire. He can nice and confidently take the ball and solo it across his back line, look for support, left-handed, flicks it inside. Opportunity now for Maigh Cuilinn to get Mark Hines on the ball and move forward. Hines plays a little 1-2 with David Wynne, keeps going. Hines now is in the scoring zone. Is he going to pull the trigger? No, he pops it off. Who else but to Desi? Round the corner he goes, and Desi off the right. Well, up he goes and over the bar for 1-5 for Desi Keneally.
Yeah, it's brilliant again. Look at it. His Mark Hines again was driving. There was only one man that ball was being offloaded to, and it was Desi, and Desi got that 2 yards of space he needed again and kicked a brilliant score. Started very lively again this second half.
Well, it's making life very easy for you in terms of picking man of the match at the end of this game if he keeps going the way he's going. But 1-5 at the moment. Has kicked a couple of wides as well in that first half, so it hasn't been perfect, but he was also at the centre of the challenge that led to the Ronan Caldwell red card. So Desi has been very much to the forefront of everything positive that Maigh Cuilinn have done. But here's a counter-attack from Killannin now. Let's see if their main inspiration, Ryan Roach, can drive at the heart of the defence. The referee is giving an advantage here to Killannin. Roach has a free shot which he guides out to the right hand side and wide, but that won't matter. It'll be a free in for Killannin. Now, will there be any more than a free? Because I'm sure Killannin will be paying for a card of some description.
Yeah, it's one of those. You've got to be looking at it. It is off the ball tackle, and that is probably brought into the black card rule.
Nothing happening from the referee.
No, nothing.
Johnny Heaney is asking him, was that not a black card? Richie McNicholas says no, he's happy to just allow the free, so this will be a chance for Enda Kelly to kick another one. Enda doesn't miss. That's his 4th of the game, and it gets Killannin off the mark, but in truth they need a goal, don't they, Pádraig, to reignite this game?
They do, yeah. They need to get a goal, just get back into touch and distance again, and it's a 3-point game, but just to give them that energy, that boost it needs, to give even the backs half-forward line, just to get a bit more energy into the middle sector of the field.
At the moment, Tuam Stars leading Dunmore 8 points to 1-3 as we watch Maigh Cuilinn coming forward here. Lovely little intricate hand passing, and in the end the ball is blazed up and over the bar. Was that a foot block? Maigh Cuilinn are baying for a penalty. Referee says the ball went over the bar for a point. The umpire is told to put up the white flag. Certainly felt like boot on boot.
Yeah, it's another strange one there. So it is definitely sounding like a boot on boot from up here, but it's another score for Desi Keneally, and again just ball on around the middle. Paul Kelly wins the break, and a lot of Maigh Cuilinn numbers driving forward.
Again, it looked like Maigh Cuilinn were just looking to walk that into the net. It was hardly a glove laid on them as that ball was played through. Was it Desi with the final shot then, left-footed?
Yeah. Up
and over the bar with the courtesy of a defensive block, but Desi will get the credit for the point. And so it's 2-8 to 10 points. Killannin looked like a touch on the ground. There it is. It's going to be a free to Maigh Cuilinn. If that ball isn't given away, it'll be brought in and it'll be a tap over point, but I think the referee is being kind to Killannin here, albeit Maigh Cuilinn will be happy enough the fact that it's a free far enough out for Desi to be a 2-pointer.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a 2-pointer, and one he'd probably fancy with the way he's been kicking today.
Desi is just taking his time. Is he going to put this on the ground? Not sure. I think with the breeze it's a far easier kick off the hands, but he's going to strike this on the 45. He's midway between the sideline and the centre of the pitch, so this kick is a good 52 metres on a direct line. It's certainly worth 2 points and then some, but it'll take a fair old whack to get the distance from Desi. Remember, had the chance to take this off the hands, but goes off the ground and never really had the purchase to get that the distance. Kept in play brilliantly over on the far side. Lovely little pass infield. Opportunity for Maigh Cuilinn on the charge. Referee says too many steps.
Yeah, brilliant there from Niall Walsh, keeping the ball alive, but Johnny Maloney running into 2 or 3 Killannin men, and they were definitely going to turn him over once they got 2 men in around them.
Cian Marks bursts through a couple of challenges, does well. Very athletic player. Pops that out to the left-hand side, looking for the run of Cathal Walsh. Cathal now looking up, but hasn't a whole pile of options. Patrick Sweeney's coming short. Decides to play it back towards Cian Marks, and they'll make the run in from the left-hand corner. Pat Sweeney thinking about the backdoor cut. Cian Marks, though, steps out over the end line, and that'll be, well, referee says advantage was coming for a push initially on Cian Marks. So Killannin will get the free, and that'll be on the 13-metre line, and an opportunity for them to get back within 3 points again. 2-8 to 10 it remains. 6 minutes gone in this second half. So the ball tapped up and over the bar.
Yeah, by Enda Kelly.
Enda Kelly getting another one. He's had a profitable afternoon with the frees. But
yeah, keeps Killannin still in touch and distance. They're like still only a kick of a ball away.
37 minutes on the clock now. Looks like Maigh Cuilinn are making a change here. Looks like Killian Gallagher is the man coming in, just getting the swig of the water bottle. The referee waiting for the next break in play before he comes in to replace Mark Hines. Mark has gone off, so Killian will be in a moment. Let's watch Maigh Cuilinn driving forward. Lovely little return pass now. Here's a goal opportunity. Straight through. Paul Kelly flicks it across. Was his hand pulled just as he went to pull the trigger? Well, the defender will get the benefit of the doubt there, and Killannin have escaped. Johnny Heaney coming out from the back. Strong play from Johnny, holds onto the ball, solo and go, and he's out of trouble.
Yeah, it's a strange one there. Refereeing decision. Paul seems to hand pass the ball. As he goes to hand pass the ball, his hand is held, and yeah, it's a strange one there.
Well, decision not given, and Maigh Cuilinn now are having to do a bit of defending, because down the other end, Jack O'Toole has given it back towards Enda Kelly. Enda has got 5 points so far, but that one is going to drop short. And now Maigh Cuilinn can start from the back and look to get the score. Already a victory today for Clare Galway over Annadown, 2-15 to 2-6 in the first game in Tuam Stadium. So Annadown are certainly staring down the barrel of the relegation battle here. Relegation is far from the thoughts of Maigh Cuilinn, who lead Killannin by 2-8 to 11 points. They have an extra man. Killannin down to 14, but Maigh Cuilinn playing with breeze advantage. Now running into trouble. Too many steps. And a solo and go from Killannin's Brian Mitchell. Only gets him into trouble.
One of them ones where you take it and you run that too. Maigh Cuilinn men, you're probably regretting it straight away.
Killannin though, hold on to the ball. It's with Ted McAndrew. Plays it through the hands. It works out with Dara Walsh. Gets it off now towards Luke Carr. Go on, Luke is the cheer. Of course, all these players having to work so much harder because they're a man down. Solo and going out from Paul Kelly, who's got space over here on this left-hand side with Desi Keneally straight through on goal. Should be a simple score. And Desi isn't going to look a gift horse in the mouth. Up and over the bar from Desi. Another score from him. And he's just getting these scores so easily. 1-7.
He is, like, he's getting them so easily. You get, like, receiving the ball there in the middle of your 45 with acres of space. Stepped inside the 2-point arc and just kicked it straight over the bar.
Killannin make a change, as we heard on the PA there. They've brought in their number 23, and that's Kento O'Connor, and he replaces Jack O'Toole. As we watch the kick out from Killannin, this one drops short, but again a brilliant catch from this Ryan Roach. I'll tell you what, Ryan Roach is a guy that think Pádraig Joyce might get interested in very quickly if he can produce this kind of a display at a county level. But he's a real powerful figure, isn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. He's been brilliant here today. So yeah, he was the heart and soul of the Killannin attacks in the first half, and he's came out in the second half and kept it going as well. He's plucked a great kick out there and drove his Killannin team forward.
Well, one thing I love about him is his attitude. He's just constantly looking to get in the action. He's not worried at any point in the game about what the score is, just the next ball. It's a terrific attitude, and he certainly is one player that won't have any regrets whatever happens here from a Killannin perspective. They are 4 points down. We're ticking towards the end of the third quarter, and there's no doubt Cuilinn are in that comfort zone, aren't they?
Yeah, they definitely are, and they're just know they don't really have to shift through their gears yet too much, and just comfortably 4 point lead, you know, and probably know themselves if they needed to go up another gear, they probably can. With how easy they're getting their scores, they just know that keep that scoreboard moving and just keep Killannin a touch in distance.
Here's Sean Kelly now, strolling through after taking that pass from Maigh Mahan. Looks to play the 1-2, but that's a poor ball back to Sean, and it's easily intercepted there. The mistake was made by Charlie Cox, who'll be a bit disappointed with his return pass. He tries to stifle the run out from the back, but Killannin with Donal Henderson are very composed. So too Enda Kelly, very experienced player for Killannin, who's just trotting back into the opposition half of the field now. They know they need scores. Bursting out from the back here is Ryan Roach. Just ran into trouble there. It's with one of Cullen's goal scorers, Fiacra McDonough. He overturns possession in the middle of the field. Gets it back out the field. McDonough, nice ball into space. Here's an opportunity now for Sean O'Connor in on goal. Look to punch point and does so very simply. Sean O'Connor with the punch point, and I think from a Killannin perspective, I think they know that it's going to take something really extraordinary to get back into this game. 2-10 to 11 points. Killannin make another change.
Yeah, it's one of them again. We just know Cullen are probably Killannin and Cullen are both saying nearly can the game just end now because they're in such comfort zone at the moment.
Yeah, it's ended almost as a contest. Killannin will stay going, but their thoughts, I'm sure, already are going to the Baron of Furbo game. Now, completely unmarked, Killannin's substitute Kento O'Connor is in on goal here. Oh, and he's fluffed his lines and sent it out to the right hand side and wide. He nearly was as well to go for goal there because they had nothing to lose.
Yeah, definitely. I thought as well. It was a brilliant fetch in the middle of the field by Jarrah Walsh. Put a brilliant ball inside to him and just keep driving and just drive that ball low and hard into the ground and hope for the best. But unfortunately didn't execute it that way.
Substitutions are coming thick and fast now. Charlie Cox taken out. Cullen make a change.
Stepped in.
And they're bringing in the experienced Ger Davern, who again has had plenty of great campaigns with this Cullen team. I did reference at the outside and would be remiss of me not to mention again, but there is absolutely a pall of sadness hanging over Cullen for over a week since the passing of their manager Don Connellan, who was remembered with a minute's silence before the start of this game. And that's certainly not going to go away as Killannin come forward looking to try and chip their way in towards Kento O'Connor again. Kento's got a man outside him but gives it straight to the waiting arms of the Cullen defender, and Sean Kelly is there to pick up the pieces, and it's just too easy as the Kelly brothers, Paul and Sean, drive forward, but Paul can't quite get there. It's intercepted, and all credit towards Killannin's Sam Keating intercepting. They come again. A goal might just reignite this game again. Killannin, Brian Mitchell driving forward, back out the field it goes. A little curled effort just to the right and wide. Just when they needed a score, unfortunately, Dara Welch's right peg let him down. And that one has gone out for a wide, and that really sucks the life out of you, doesn't it?
It does indeed. And even Kento O'Connor's turnover there when they had the ball in possession and he hand passed it. It looked like trying to find Enda Kelly on the run and just hand passed straight to Dave Wynne and broke for Cullen. Then they go up the field and here they are on an attack again. It just looks like they have numbers everywhere, an extra body somewhere.
15 minutes to go.
Here we go.
And now
another goal.
Cullen into the back of the net. The goal finished. Fiachra McDonough getting his second, all too easy, and barely raising a cheer.
Exactly, yeah, that was it. Look, the win the kick out there. Jared Avern does well, break, and then just getting runners ahead of the ball again. And Niall Welch gets ahead of Paul Kelly. Paul Kelly offloads it into Desi. Desi gets inside, and he just hand passes across for Fiachra McDonough, and he rolls it into the net. A very easy goal for Maigh Cuilinn. That's all she rode nearly.
That's game over now. 3-10 to 11 points. Still have 15 minutes to go, but at this stage, Maigh Cuilinn will probably end up just minding themselves and making sure they don't make any mistakes, get any injuries, anybody sent off. Here's Desi looking for another score. It's an absolute peach. Up and over the bar. 1-8 from Desi Keneally. Another fabulous score.
Yeah, it is. It's a brilliant score again from Desi.
3-11 to 11 points. And the danger now, of course, is that the game could really get away from Killannin and could end up being a heavy defeat.
Yeah, it's just something that they wouldn't need for themselves, like to regroup again going into the last game.
There's a short kick out from James Welch. He's had to pick the ball out of the net 3 times. He'll be disappointed with that, but in truth, losing that player just before half time, the red card to Ronan Caldwell, was always going to make it an uphill task for Killannin, not just numerically, but as it was, they would be taking on a really strong attacking force in Maigh Cuilinn, and you need everybody back, and keeping the 3 up at all times
half-time score means Dunmore 1-5, Tube 11 points.
So the half-time score from Tuam Stadium being mentioned over the PA system here, 11 points to 1-5. Tuam Stars 3 to the good. Not sure if there's a breeze factor there as there is here in Pearse Stadium. It's certainly not a huge factor, but it is blowing in favour of Maigh Cuilinn in this second half. 13 minutes to go. Darragh Walsh spraying the possession over to the left-hand side. Killannin trying to work the ball into a favourable position for Brian Mitchell. Is he going to have a shot at the post? Gives it off towards Ryan Roach. Roach inviting the run. Kento O'Connor, but in the end decides to go back. And McKelly plays it all the way to Darragh Walsh. And Killannin will start again. Plays it across towards Cian Marks. He's got support outside him. Foul, says the referee. And a free for Killannin, which I'm sure will be an opportunity for them to just slow the game down, get Darragh Walsh there to take this one and try and put it over the bar. So the Senior Football Championship starting to take shape. All the usual suspects are very much there at the top of people's conversations. Maybe the surprise package from the weekend was Milltown and putting it up to Corofin, but here everything seems to be going along by the familiar script.
Yeah, it does, yeah. It just seems to be nice and steady, and Maigh Cuilinn seem to have nearly the job done and heading for quarter-finals without a worry of prelim.
It looks that way. Killannin do get a score on the board there from that free from Darragh Walsh to make it 3-11 to 12 points as they kick out close to the sideline. Is well kept in play by Owen Maguire, close to the line but perfectly within the pitch. There were a few cat calls, but he definitely had claimed possession before, had stepped out over the line, so good work from him. Leads to this Maigh Cuilinn attack. Lovely jink inside. A great footwork from Johnny Maloney. He gets it forward to Paul Kelly. It's time to go down and pick it up, get back onto the right. Should be a score. Paul Kelly, right-footed, has loads of time to strike that one up and over the bar and get on the score sheet as well. So Paul Kelly joins the latest list of scorers for Maigh Cuilinn. That stretches them back into that 3-goal cushion, 3-12 to 12 points. But certainly one thing I know about Maigh Cuilinn, they've got plenty of players that are very comfortable anywhere between the 245s.
Yeah, they do, yeah. They're half back line, midfield and half forward line. All that 3 areas of the pitch just seem so comfortable on the ball. And they just have runners coming from every angle, every different position. Like, it's brilliant. They have Paul Kelly, Sean Kelly, Jared Avern, Johnny Maloney, Tom Clark, all these players are just, and David Wynn, all driving forces for that Maigh Cuilinn team.
Good catch in midfield from Dara Welch. He gets it off to Cian Marks, and now Killannin come forward. Is there a goal at the end of this move as they try and burst the ball through to Patrick Sweeney? Gets it off. Here's a chance. Should be a goal. Great save. Second time round. Kento O'Connor on the rebound. Gets the goal, and it might be a consolation, but it is a goal nonetheless that Killannin and their efforts fully deserved.
Absolutely, yeah, they do. Look, it was brilliant there, and I'm delighted for Kento O'Connor. He's probably had a rough enough probably involvement in the other 2-3 plays, and he stayed going, and look, he got his goal there, and look, it gives Killannin a bit of life. 6-point game with 9 minutes to go.
Well, they certainly need at least one more goal, if not two, but nothing else. It takes away the chances of a hammering, which when Maigh Cuilinn went 9 points up, there was that feeling that this could become 13-14 points very quickly, but all credit to Killannin. It's a good sign, isn't it, when a team is being well beaten, that they keep going, they stay honest.
Yeah.
Now here's a very, very ambitious shot from a very tight angle. This is
score.
incredible. What a shot that is from Dara Walsh out on the left-hand touchline, kicking left-footed. He had hardly anything to aim at. That is the score of the game.
It is, yeah. It's an absolutely phenomenal score. He was nearly looked like he was lost and didn't know where he was going with the ball, coming out with it, and then turned around and stepped back in, and he ended up stepping inside, and brilliant score at a tricky angle, and makes it a 5-point game.
Well, Pierce Greeley has decided that conceding 1-1 in the space of 60 seconds is good time to go down and try and kill the clock a little bit. Killannin aren't too impressed with it, but I think we have to take it at face value that it's a genuine injury, and that Maigh Cuilinn are warming up their sub-goalie to come in just in case. If that is the case, it's Marcus O'Naughton who's coming in, but we'll see how quickly Pierce Greeley can recover. But 1-1 in jig time from Killannin will certainly cheer their supporters up no end. It's one thing losing to the neighbours, it's another thing being hammered, so I think that's taken that out of the equation. 113, a more than respectable score, as Killannin look like they're going to make a change. Maigh Cuilinn likewise have a player on the sideline with a piece of paper, so they're going to be making a change as well. Maigh Cuilinn are definitely going to be bringing in Neil Mulcahy.
Killannin substitution.
Killannin
Ryan Joyce
are going to be bringing in Ryan Joyce in place of Ted McAndrew. So Ryan, wearing number 4, comes in for Killannin.
Ted McAndrew.
And Neil Mulcahy will come in for Maigh Cuilinn at the next break in play. Ball breaks in the middle of the field. A couple of ricochets, but it works out kindly for Maigh Cuilinn, and they come forward with Desi Keneally taking the break and the pass from the waiting arms of Ger Davern. Out around the middle of the field, Maigh Cuilinn just playing it along the lines. Sean Kelly plays it across. Opportunity now to switch the point to the attack towards David Wynn. Is he going to line up one of those left-footed specials? He is, you know. Winnie off the left, goes for it, just to the left-hand side, but inside the upright. He's got it. David Wynn gets the point, and it's shooting practice really for Maigh Cuilinn when they come up from the back with so much space.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like David Wynn steps into an area, ocean of space there, and just kicked a beautiful score. Not like him.
So Winnie gets the score. 2 goals between the sides. Maigh Cuilinn take off David Wynn, so that was his last act, to kick the point, and replaced by Neil Mulcahy. And now here's the strike from Killannin goalkeeper James Welch, straight down the line. Again, Killannin battling away over there. Paul Kelly just kind of stumbling over it. Referee says free to Killannin. Take it quickly. Infield. Quick free. Good work from Rory Green. Gets it off in turn now towards Brian Mitchell. Mitchell looking for support. Pops it off towards Kento O'Connor, who came on and got that goal, remember, on the rebound, to give his side this 2-goal deficit. Back it goes now towards Rory Green. Can he engineer a bit of space inside? No real attacking impetus from Killannin just yet, so Cian Marks goes backwards. Clock ticking on, 5 minutes to go in Pearse Stadium. Killannin lead by 2 goals, 3-13 to 1-13. They've always been in command of this fixture, but Killannin have kept them honest. Nice work between the midfielders Ryan Roach and Dara Walsh to hold on to position. Back it goes towards Rory Green, but he has his pocket picked. Killannin turn it over, and Maigh Cuilinn turn it over. Killannin are scampering back. And now here's an opportunity for Niall Walsh to flick it across the far side to Paul Kelly. He's fouled, holding the ball up. Surely the referee's got to look at giving the free to Maigh Cuilinn. He does so. Here's the extra player. Here's the advantage. Desi Keneally off the right, strikes it up and over the bar. Another simple score for him.
Yeah, it is, yeah, it's another simple score. It's like they turn over the ball, and Killannin had a lot of bodies committed forward. Just had the ball turned over the ball, and then they break in numbers. And again, Desi Keneally, the sharpshooter from Maigh Cuilinn, you're leaving him in acres of space like that. It's just...
That's easy pickings for Desi. He scored 1-9. I'd say you could definitely say that 5 of those points were just without a hand being laid on him.
Exactly,
so
yeah, it is, yeah.
He's certainly profited from the extra space in that attack, but he has been lethal with the scoring boot, no doubt about it. Killannin will keep going. They'll try and add to their tally before the finish. They'll be getting ready now for 2 weeks' time, and that big match with Barn na Forbucha. A crucial game that is. Another team in close proximity to one another. But for Killannin, they are certainly second best here today to Maigh Cuilinn, who have no doubt bigger fish to fry later on in the championship. Disappointed in last year's county final against Corofin. They will look to try and rectify what went on that day later on in the championship, but they have a couple of hurdles to jump before they can start thinking about a county final. But today they've definitely laid down a marker, and really without ever hitting anything near top gear, they have managed to coax their way through this fixture with the greatest of ease. Patrick Sweeney here now for Killannin. Is he going to go for a score? Soloing with the left, turning back onto the right. He's going to go for it. Good strike from Patrick over the bar. Well, he's a quality forward and has been for over a decade, now in the twilight of his career, with his twin brother Cathal on the sideline, helping out with the Killannin management. A good score.
Yeah, it's a brilliant score. So it is. A bit of patience again from Killannin, and then just a decoy runner from Johnny Heaney, and then an arc run from Patrick Sweeney. Gets himself a yard of space and kicks a brilliant score. 2
minutes to go. Referee just having a word on this near side, I think, with Neil Mulcahy. Yellow card issued. Something that happened off the ball, but all entirely academic, as the kick out is won by Dara Walsh, uncontested in the middle of the field. Off to Johnny Heaney. Heaney jinks infield. Not a lot of options, so continues going. Still Johnny goes on. He gets a free eventually. Maybe a little bit fortunate to do so, but...
Yeah, it's probably an advantage free, I'd say, from distance out. It probably did look like his jersey was pulled at the start, but...
It's probably in Killannin's interest to just tap this over the bar and see can they
keep that score,
get it within the 6-point margin which has existed there for a while, give themselves a chance to somehow try and get a goal to set up a grandstand finish. But the ball is tapped over the bar by Enda Kelly. He's kept his end of the bargain up with unerring free taking all evening, and that kick from Enda on the back of Patrick Sweeney's point, 2 in a row, makes it 3-14 to 1-15. So good scoring from Killannin. A minute to go plus stoppages, but they need a miracle. They need a goal and a 2-pointer. I'd hope that Maigh Cuilinn don't score again, but that's highly unlikely, as here they come with the extra player. Is there another goal on here for Maigh Cuilinn? The ball turned over to the left-hand side, should be punched over the bar by Fiachra McDonough. That's what he does. McDonough adds to the 2 goals with the point, and that Fiachra McDonough punch point puts aside any hopes of a miracle escape.
Yeah.
2 minutes to be added on, 4 to be added on at the end of the game, we're told. So that makes it now 3-15 to 1-15. 4 minutes to be added. We'll be starting those 4 minutes in the next few seconds. Nice little pop pass. They've worked well together, Ryan Roach and Dara Walsh. Killannan's two best players today. Roach thinking about lining up a shot from downtown, but into the breeze. Discretion the better part of valour there as he decides to hold on it. He's got that Sean Kavanagh dummy hop hitch kick, burrows his way through, then decides to hand pass it back out the field towards Enda Kelly. Goes from a very difficult angle to try and drop it in around the house. He does. It's held in there. Little swivel kick inside there from Killannin's Carl Walsh, but the ball is kept alive. The move is still there for Killannin. All is not lost. Johnny Heaney might kick a point here, but just curls it too far off the left, and it's out to the left hand side and wide, so it all comes to naught. We're into injury time. Yeah, I'll ask you to name your man of the match, Pádraig. Not that it matters a whole pile, and not that you'd need a degree in whatever you need a degree in to pick man of the match in, but
yeah, no, look at it. There's been some brilliant performances from Mike Cuilinn, and even Ryan Roach I think deserves a mention for his stalwart performance in Killannin. He's been excellent throughout, and Darragh Walsh has been brilliant in the middle of the field, but to be fair, there's been one standout player on the pitch today, and it's Dessie Keneally. He's been absolutely superb in terms of an exhibition of kicking. I know he's kicked one or two wides, but he's the heart of all Mike Cuilinn attacks, and he was the man that set across the assist to the third goal there as well. So yeah, my Galway man of the match is Dessie Keneally.
No question about that. 1-9 for Dessie. We're not done yet. He could add to that, but here's maybe is the man who pushed him closest, Ryan Roach at midfield, who's on the ball at the moment for Killannin. Gets it off in turn to Cian Marks, who's had a good game as well. Good player, lovely little ball inside. Is there another score for Sweeney? There is. Patrick Sweeney gets on the scoreboard again. And a second point for him. And what's been a really free-flowing second half. Very open. 2 of the 4 minutes gone. 3:15 to 1:16 is the scoreboard here now in Pearse Stadium between these two sides. I'm sure for Killannin, they'll be hopeful that they'll go far enough to the championship to be able to meet Maigh Cuilinn again. That's most likely going to be a semi-final before that might happen, but first things first, Killannin will look in 2 weeks' time to that fixture with Barn and Afurbacha as having huge implications and staying involved in the knockout stages of the championship and avoiding getting sucked into a relegation battle. Here's Maloney with a 2-point shot for Maigh Cuilinn. It's a fine drive from distance. Is it inside the post? It is. Yeah, Johnny Maloney with a 2-pointer.
Yeah.
To round things off. Brilliant score.
Brilliant score. So it is. It's a great move again from Maigh Cuilinn, and Johnny Maloney coming on an arc run again and just receives the ball. Ocean of space again at the top of the 40 metre arc and kicks a brilliant score.
3:17 to 1:16. Still have a minute to go here. It's a high scoring affair at half time. Remember, Maigh Cuilinn led by 2-5 to 9 points, but they really have opened up in this second half, scoring 112. All credit to Killannin, who scored 1-7 as well, but it is Maigh Cuilinn who look to be the real deal this year again, and very obviously are one of the teams being spoken about as potential winners of the Galway Championship. On paper and in view, there's no doubt Maigh Cuilinn are building, as all the top teams are. I guess it's about timing your run as well, Pádraig, isn't it? You want to be kind of hitting your peak when it comes to the quarters and semi-finals of the championship, and Maigh Cuilinn definitely look like they've got plenty more in the tank.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what it is. It's more just keeping the squad fit and getting through the group, and obviously top the group if you can, but be in a position that you've qualified and into the latter stages for Maigh Cuilinn, and then starting to peak then come quarter-final time.
Bit of defending to do for Maigh Cuilinn at the moment, but the time is up. Referee looks at his watch, blows the full-time whistle, and there is the full-time. 3:17 for Maigh Cuilinn, 1:16 for Killannin. Nothing really much more to add, Pádraig, other than fully deserved winners, and for Maigh Cuilinn, they're through to the quarter-finals and will have a big say this year, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Look, they're given the label as one of the top fours, and they show today in glimpses and times why they are one of the top fours teams, and just Dessie Keneally was absolutely superb again. So look at it's another group stage run for Maigh Cuilinn into a quarter-final.
Well, they've got plenty of firepower, plenty of weapons on all sides of the pitch. county players who have played with the county who are still at the top level of their game. We'll get some reaction pitch side from the victors, Maigh Cuilinn, in a couple of moments' time. Let's look back at some of the highlights on Maigh Cullinn's victory over Killannin before we hear from the victorious camp. Gives it off towards Ryan Roach. Back off the right. Roach's effort is blocked down, but he still manages to flick it back, and the ball is swung with the right boot to who else but Dessie Keneally. He's having a run here. Dessie in on goal, should be a score. Taps it over the bar. Moments of this game. And Maigh Cuilinn again look like they're entitled to a free there in the middle of the field for a pullback. It is, and it's taken quickly, and who else but Dessie Keneally now one-on-one with Donal Henderson. Keneally jigging left and right. He's going to go for goal and gets it. There's only close proximity is Ronan Caldwell. It's so too bursting through is Ryan Roach. Roach is in on goal here. Straight at the keeper, however. In the end, an easy Killannin, I should say, have turned it over here. They've won it back. Opportunity now for Dara Welsh. Should get a score. Swings the left peg while a man down for a genuine injury. Yeah. But here is a tap over free from the mark. Here's an opportunity now. This is where Maigh Cuilinn are lethal. And it goes again to Dessie off the left. Welsh does well. Johnny now working into an area where he could have a pop at the post. This is going to drop short. Dangerous ball in around the house. It's a point. Throwing themselves at it. Here's an opportunity now for Killannin coming through. An opportunity for a punch point back off the post. A danger and another well. David Wynn, lovely ball through as well. Working out here as well. Opportunity. Got Roachy coming forward. Ryan Roach puts a little hitch kick on it before he goes off the right. It's a fine effort. Tracking. But it's up to Dessie Keneally, and you know what that's going to mean. Dessie Keneally can half when they're backed by the breeze. Ronan Caldwell gives it back to Dara Welsh, goes for a booming effort. It's going to be close. It's over. Certainly got plenty of advantage on it, and it could end up in a goal at the other end. It's in, and one-on-one, a ball trickled off the upright, and a block down in the second.
Behind, Killannin will be quite happy so far. 20 minutes gone.
That's a kick out to nobody in particular. It's really gone astray from James Walsh, who holds his head in his hands, and now the ball is in the inside line. Lovely little spin opportunity here, and this time it is in the back of the net. The kick out 4-7 they lead. Can Killannin answer back? Here's a shot coming in from
on top of his brother Dara, and
up the other end though. Niall Walsh has been put through by Sean Kelly. Not to hover around that area with any great intent, although the referee is calling him now, and I think he's in curtains. This is a red card, and Killannin are down to 14 men, and unfortunately for Ronan, for the Killannin against Dunmore McHale's, as we watch Maigh Cuilinn look to start the second half with Dessie Keneally coming forward. A shot up and over the bar in the scoring zone. Is he going to pull the trigger? No, he pops it off. Who else but to Dessie? Round the corner he goes, and Dessie off the right. Well, up he goes. Happy to just allow the free, so this will be a chance for Enda Kelly coming forward here. Lovely little intricate hand passing, and in the end the ball is 2-8-10 it remains. 6 minutes gone in this second half. On this left hand side with Dessie Keneally straight through on goal. Should be a simple score, that Dessie isn't going to do it. Nice ball into space. Here's an opportunity now for Sean O'Connor in on goal. Look to punch point, and does so very simply. Sean O'Connor with the punch.
Here they are on the attack again. It just looks like they have numbers everywhere, an extra body somewhere.
15 minutes to go.
Here we go.
And now
another goal.
Maigh Cuilinn into the back of the net. Is anybody sent off? Here's Dessie looking for another score. It's an absolute peach. Here, everything seems to be going along by the familiar script.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and it just seems to be.
Maloney, he gets it forward to Paul Kelly. It's time to go down and pick it up. Get back onto the right. Should be a score. Paul Kelly right-footed
for that Maigh Cuilinn team.
Good catch in midfield from Dara Welsh. He gets it off to Cian Marks, and now Killannin come forward. Is there a goal at the end of this move as they try and burst the ball through to Patrick Sweeney? Gets it off. Here's a chance. Should be a goal. Great save. Second time round. Kento O'Connor on the rebound. And when a team is being well beaten, that they keep going, they stay honest. Now here's a very, very ambitious shot from a very tight angle. Is he going to line up one of those left-footed specials? He is, you know. Winnie off the left, goes for it just to the left-hand side, but inside the upright. To Maigh Cuilinn, he does so. Here's the extra player. Here's the advantage. Dessie Keneally off the right. Sweeney here now for Killannin. Is he going to go for a score? Soloing with the left, turning back onto the right. He's going to go for it. Good strike from Patrick over the bar. There for a while, give themselves a chance to somehow try and get a goal to set up a grandstand finish. Another goal on here for Maigh Cuilinn. The ball turned over to the left-hand side. Should be punched over the bar to Cian Marks, who's had a good game as well. Good player, lovely little ball inside. Is there another score for Sweeney? There is. Patrick Sweeney gets on this into a relegation battle. Here's Maloney with a 2-point shot for Maigh Cuilinn. It's a fine drive from distance. Is it inside the post? It is. Welcome back to Pearse Stadium. We're pitch side with Dessie Keneally from Maigh Cuilinn, man of the match as well. Dessie, in the end, a comfortable victory. You all seem to be playing within yourselves. Was the sending off the key moment before half time?
Yeah. Look, it was tight there in the first half, and we were against conditions. And I suppose they got the last score of the half to very close, but the red card, I suppose, with the new rules going down to 14, whether it's black or red, is a big advantage to the team who have the more numbers. You know, there's so much space out there now, so it probably helped a lot in the second half and a bit of a breeze as well. So they were big factors. Yeah,
you profited it as well. I'm sure you were delighted to see the ball being turned over in the half-back line, because as soon as your guys come forward, you know there's going to be space up there.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way it's gone now. It's to be honest, most attacks you're ended up with a shooting opportunity, so it's trying to get on the end of them, and there's so much space up there now. So turnovers, especially kick-outs, stuff like that, if you can get the ball in quick, you know, there's chances to take your men on and to get shots off.
How far advanced are you in your training and your preparation, or on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think you're at in Maigh Cuilinn in terms of this championship?
It's hard to know. Like we still a few lads come back, a few injuries that we picked up at the end of the league coming into the championship, and we're happy enough where we're at. 2 wins, you can't complain. We've put in good performances every game. Today we had a few more lads back on the pitch, and hopefully in 2 weeks' time we'll get another few lads, and we're just ticking away, happy with the performances. And as I said, if you keep winning, then it's not too bad. Of
course, one thing about the group in particular and the geography of us, which you were always going to have games here in Pearse Stadium, which you've got to know so well over the years.
Yeah. Look, I suppose the teams we're playing are all kind of out the west side, so the games are going to be here, and it's nice, big pitch. It's always in great condition, so yeah, it's perfect really with the new rules. Pressure
off, so 2 wins out of 2 into the quarterfinals. You can try a few guys in the next round before you get down to the knockouts.
Yeah, look, we want to keep winning, and I know St James's lost the first day out, but they had a few lads missing too, and you know they have great players on the pitch, Paul Connery obviously, and a few others, so they're going to get a few lads back the next day as well, so that'll be a tough game as well. And as I said, we want to keep winning, we want to win every game, and we'll just take the next 2 weeks preparing for them as well.
It would be remiss of us not to mention Don and the fact that this whole game was played under the shadow of the passing of Don Killannin, your 2-time county championship winning manager. There's just huge sadness. That's not going to go away, is it? But there was a lovely acknowledgement of Don here today before the start of this game. I'm sure it's going to take you guys and the club as a whole quite a time to get over it.
Yeah. Look, it was a very difficult a week last week, and it's going to be a difficult time ahead. But Don gave us great times. I suppose manager was his title of the team, but he was much more than that. Gave us so much on the pitch, but even more off it. Really looked after us as individuals and as a group, and you go out and do anything for him. And I suppose we had great days under him, and we wanted today just go out and put in a Don performance, no fuss, and just hard work, and try and execute the basics. And we want to do him proud and carry on his memory as well.
Dessie, you certainly did that today. Thank you very much. Dessie Keneally, man of the match today. 1 goal and 9 points for Maigh Cuilinn as Dessie makes his way off and gets ready for the final round of game where Maigh Cuilinn will take on St James's. So that's it. Thank you so much to everybody for watching on Galway GA TV. Thanks to my co-commentator Pádraig Cunningham. I've been Ollie Turner for the last couple of hours bringing you live coverage. Don't forget, we'll have plenty more action next weekend in the Club Hurling Championship on Galway GA TV. We're back with the final round of group games in the Club Football Championship in 2 weeks' time. But we leave you with the final score from Pearse Stadium of Maigh Cuilinn 3-17. The victors in the end over their neighbours Killannin 1-16. Bye-bye.